So this is my 2-yard piece that I'm gonna start with first. I have ironed it to make sure that it's laying flat and there's not any wrinkles in it. And then I took it and I folded it in half, hot dog style. So you can see that it's nice, it's spread out, it's even, and I've got it laying the long way so that I have the fold right here so I can put my pieces on there. So my directions tell me to lay it out on a flat surface and place my pattern pieces as shown below. So this right here is my 2-yard piece and this is my 3/8 piece. I'm doing my 2-yard piece. So I noticed that on the fold, I put pieces 2 and 7, and then up here closer to the selvage, which is that white line, I put pieces 4 and pieces 5. All right, so I've laid it out here with piece 2 and I am on the fold just like the instructions said right here. So I've pinned it about 1 inch apart and I'll show you how to pin that. But the first thing we do is we want to pin it on the fold very first. So I've got that done over there. So I'm going to leave my camera here so that you can see the next thing I'm going to pin. You tilt this so you can see it a little better. Okay, so it's pinned there. So I'm gonna take this now and I'm gonna pin it right here. So I put it in and then I bring it back out and I'm going through both layers of the fabric here. I'll do that again and I'm smoothing it as I go. Now I've already done the fold side. And you'll notice that I'm being careful to not let those pins come off of the fabric because when I cut here, I don't want scissors here to cut my fabric. So I'm gonna finish that and then I'll show you the next piece. The next step in my layout is to place piece 4 and piece 5. And you'll notice on these pieces that they have these arrows that say grain of fabric. So what that means is that in order to lay my fabric straight, I can use that arrow. So I'm gonna lay this here, and my first pin is going to go into that arrow, making sure it's straight, smoothing it out as I go. So as soon as I've put that in there, I want to use that arrow and this selvage right here, this white part, to make sure that that's straight. So I can take my measuring tape and start it right here at the grain line. And I can put it to right here. And I can see that right where that selvage start is 2 7/8. So let me zoom in here so that you can see that. So you can see right where that selvage start is 2 7/8. So I'm gonna come over here and do the same thing, making sure this is straight. So when it is at 2 7/8 right there, then I can take my pin and put my pin in there. Gotta pull it up just a little bit to make sure it's where it should be. Then I put that pin in, and that will help me to keep this piece straight. So as I pin this whole thing, I want to measure and pin all the way. And then once I've done that grain line, I can go all the way around. So I'll show you how to do that. And then I'm going to do the same thing on piece 5. So my other pieces that I'm going to cut out are my pockets. So part 3 and part 1. I have the same fabric for this. You might have the same fabric. You might have different fabric. So this one I'm going to lay out similar but different. You'll notice that I have this grain line. So I'm going to measure it the same way, making sure that it's parallel to the selvage here. And same thing with this over here. All right. So make sure it's lined up. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to measure, and I am going to pin those.